One leg. I love the one-leg squats, leg press. I don't normally do things like squats and deadlifts in the first session. I keep it really simple. Step-ups, walking lunges, kick pad work, a bit of bike to finish off and tire people out. Those kind of exercises. Step-ups, lunges, squat movements, leg press movements. Those kind of compound lower body movements work great. So they're the two main focuses for that 20 minutes. Now, it's really important that you don't let them cool down properly. Now, this is a little sneaky, but I love it. There's a reason. What happens throughout that 20 minutes? Endorphins rush, adrenaline rushes. Now, as the working muscles need more oxygenated blood, what happens? The heart can only supply and beat so fast to supply a certain amount. Then what happens is the brain, which takes around 2/3 in some theories of the oxygenated blood produced by the heart, is the heart will start sending less blood, to the brain and we'll use less of that. So then we get lightheaded or a little dizzy or so forth. A couple of things. One, you don't want to get them throwing up or get them feeling too dizzy where they need to lie down with their feet elevated because you'll lose them as a sail 9 times out of 10. Two, you want them to feel just a touch lightheaded. It's really important to use your sensory acuity and watch their facial expressions. It's known as phenotypical responses, phenotypes in NLP, where you can read, in NLP down the track, you can learn how to read people and tell if they're lying and so forth. So it's a bit off track, but a bit of a digression, but something pretty cool. Okay, so we want them just to feel a little bit lightheaded. Tell them that's quite normal, that they might feel a little lightheaded. They're not going to be too sore. They're going to get everything rushing. So we know that they're going to feel that rush and they're going to be a bit lightheaded when we go in for the close. 20 minutes, don't do too much of a cool down. I quite often will get them to do a plank on a fit ball because people just don't normally breathe properly on that the first couple of times. They cool down still. It's an isometric contraction rather than a range of movement, and they get to do a bit of a cool down and go and sit down. Then what you want to do when you finish that 20-minute full body blast, it's really important. Like it's a lot to fit in an hour, but you can do this. After 10, 20 times, you master this, add your own flavor and style, you'll be able to do this really well. So then what you want to do is, there's a couple of things. We want to go back and sit where we started, exactly. It's called homomorphism. Have you ever seen a movie, has anyone seen The Walk the Line? The beginning of Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash and June Carter story. It starts at the beginning in the present, where they're at the prison about to start doing a concert. And then it starts with him picturing back and imagining back in time. Then it comes back and loops back at the end of the movie back to the start. It's called a homomorphic loop in NLP and hypnosis, and it's incredibly powerful for tying up loose ends, okay, at the unconscious level. I'm not going to go too in depth about that at the moment, okay. But what is cool about that is it's going to have familiarity, and all that rapport and all that process you went through in the first half an hour is going to come straight back to them when you sit back there and go through that again. Bang, that rapport and everything kicks back in, those good feelings. So you sit down, then you want 3 yes sets. This is pretty, they're called porcupines, yes sets. There's so many names for these. Incredibly powerful strategy. Encyclopedia Britannica used to use 99 yes sets to sell their door-to-door Britannicas. So imagine if you were to ask people questions that led to yes answers, it's going to directionalize their mind in a way where they're going to find it easy to say yes, yes. Okay, these are known as tag questions in the Milton model, which is one of the language pattern models in the neurolinguistic programming epistemology, I guess, if you will. So 3 yes sets. So Mary, did you enjoy the workout? Yes. They always say yes to that. Mary, can you see how doing this on a regular basis will fast-track your results? Yes. Mary, can you see yourself training like this on a regular basis? Yes. So we go yes, yes, yes. Now, during this time, now I used to have all our trainers present PowerPoint presentations on their laptops or their iPads. Incredibly professional. People are wowed by it, and I just don't know many people that do it. Okay, I've got an example on here which I'll share with you shortly. Okay, so 3 yes sets. In that time, while you're asking those yes sets, you need a visual aid of some kind. It could be a piece of paper laminated. It could be in a file. It could be a PowerPoint presentation. Again, I'm happy to offer all of you guys as a gift for showing up today, all our templates for the stuff that we've gone through. Then what you go through is you want to reiterate and feedback. So let's say I've got my package, okay, which is the easy weight loss package. Imagine this is PowerPoint on the screen. Okay, so I've asked for 3 yes sets. This comes up. Then you say, well, Mary, based on the fact that you said you want to lose 20 kilos in the next 6 months because you're getting married, and you said it's incredibly important for you because X, Y, Z, And you know what, Mary, you even said yourself, you keep doing what you have been doing, you're not going to get those results. So you stack those three on top of your sets. I believe you need to invest in our easy weight loss package. Okay? Now, it's not a finite package of 10 or 20 or 30 sessions. It's ongoing, direct debit, weekly or fortnightly. It can be for a minimum term. So it's not a finite 10 or 20 or 30 pack before people go, I don't do packs. Okay, you want ongoing, you want people paying directly, weekly or fortnightly. That's a scenario we're using here. Okay, now this package is going to help you burn more fat while you sleep. It's also going to help you reveal all the vital how-to secrets necessary for shedding those extra unwanted kilos, those 20 kilos. And I'm going to take you through a specific step-by-step plan, etc., etc. Read through that. That's the solution. Now, what this package includes, I'm going to add a whole heap of value. 3 30-minute one-on-one results training sessions each week, focusing on all aspects, including cardio, etc., etc. 3 30-minute session, PT diary, program, nutrition health check, goal-setting session. I'll throw all this stuff in here. 2 free PT sessions for friend and family, free training voucher, all this other stuff in here. My online health retreat. So how much value does that add? Instead of selling PT per session, this adds a lot of value. Then I asked Mary, make sure she's with me. How does that look to you? It looks great, just what I need. They say good, it looks good. I say, really? Just good? They go, oh, it looks great, it looks amazing. If you can get them giggling 1, 2, 3 times during the close, I guarantee it's going to eliminate that awkwardness. Okay, then you go to the options. Okay, now you always use a double bind with your marketing. It's up to you how you want to present this, but when you use A or B, it's called a double bind in NLP or marketing. So for those of you who have kids, nephews and nieces, imagine if you asked them to do, they're watching their favorite cartoon, and you said, hey, John, you want to come and help mum or uncle or auntie do the dishes? What are they going to say? They're going to say it's tough, right? Maybe not those words exactly, but they're going to say that. Imagine if you said this, hey, Johnny, do you want to come and help me do the dishes now, or do you want to wait until that cartoon's finished? What are they going to say? When the cartoon finishes, you give them the A or B option. You haven't given the option to say no. When you're wanting a yes answer, never give a question, ask a question that can lead to a no answer. So with this package, okay, you have 2 options. Okay, the first option is a weekly option, which is simply weekly installments of just $149 a week for everything in that program or that package. Or Mary, you have the fortnightly option, which is fortnightly installments of $298. Look, Mary, I understand they work out exactly the same. I also understand that most people either get paid weekly or fortnightly. So Mary, just wondering, do you get paid weekly or fortnightly? Now she's going to answer. What happens when she answers? She's just said yes to the program. I haven't asked for a sale. You know, I'm not asking does she want to do 2 or 3 and anything like that. I've told her what she needs to do. This is how many sessions, this is the way it's going to work. Make sure your options are about money. Okay, advanced or easy, you know, upfront or regular payments. Don't give cash or direct debit because people choose cash. All options are direct debit. So, okay, I get paid weekly. So, Mary, the weekly one will be easier for you? Yes. So we get started on the weekly one, yes? Yes. For now, I'm going to pretend she said yes, and I'm going to go from there. So then what we do, she said yes to the program. We pull out our terms and conditions. 2 terms and conditions, not your direct debit form first. Don't pull out the scary direct debit form first. Always 2 terms and conditions. I have a template on here. Again, you guys will have access to this as well that I use. They get a copy to take home, and you get a copy to add to file. Okay, then what we do is before we sign them up on direct debit as well, is we give them a couple of gift vouchers. Here are some examples of ones we used to use. Here's 2 gift vouchers for 2 friends for PT, and here's a couple for group training. For those of you that I'm working with that have 7-day guest passes, you can hand them out here as well. Okay. Then what we can do here is we also use referral slips. Do you use referral slips yet? Imagine if you got 2 names and numbers of people there and then. Now, if those of you that I'm working with 7-day guest passes already use this process on your 7-day guest pass, because when you hand out the 7-day guest passes to activate them, you've got to get the names and numbers. But one way or the other, you need to be getting 2 names and numbers from every new sign-up. Once you get that, then you pull out the big scary direct debit form. Okay, and you go through the direct debit form, fill it out for them. Okay, and then they get their copy, and then you add it to file. Then you can add the pre-access questionnaire, the terms and conditions, and the direct debit, snap them together, and then you can file them and do what you want with them. Now, a couple of things. First of all, it's not always going to be that easy, is it? All right, so I'm going to share with you a couple of ways around that and a couple of other scenarios to overcome if she says no. Most people are going to say no at least 1 or 2 times before they say yes. Yeah? 75 to 85% of people will say yes after 4 or 5 no's. How crazy is that? Interesting. Okay, so what we want to do is we've got them sign up. That's fine. But what if they don't sign up? Okay. Now here, if they have signed up, we want to give them a business card, book them in for the next session, and off they go as well. But let's say this. Let's say Mary says, she said she gets paid weekly. Okay. Now there's 4 main objections that we get. What are the 4 main objections? 1, I want to think about it. 2, I want to talk to my partner, which is a killer. 3, I can't afford it or something to do with your budget. Or 4, they want more info or it's not for them. Okay. I'm not sure if I need it or if it's for me. The time one doesn't seem to happen much anymore if we're doing 30-minute sessions, so I don't put that in there. You want people saying they can't afford it because we've created this drop sell. This is a drop sell process we used to use. Now, if you choose to use this in your process, your conversion rates of all your own staff and yourself are going to be 75, 80, 85% plus. Most people give up. They say, no, it's okay. Let's say Mary says I get paid weekly, but I don't know if I can afford $149 a week. Okay, we say this to Mary. Well, Mary, what if I make it easier for you? Okay, so you can see here that the 140, we tried to sell to her, we tried because it didn't work. Tried to sell her 3 sessions a week at $149 a week. Okay, that was our advanced option, which actually was a minimum of 50 sessions. But just for now, this is what we started at, 3 sessions a week. Mary said she couldn't afford it. So what we say is, okay, we want to drop to the next more affordable option. We say to Mary, okay, Mary, what if I make it easier for you by making it just $99 a week? It's 2/3 of the price. You still get everything in that package I just went through, and you'll still get to see me twice a week, so I can keep you accountable on track for your PT sessions and make sure you are achieving your goals still. Would that be easier for you, Mary? Yes, then you go through back on the process and get them signed up. Now, what if Mary says no again a second time? Okay, Mary says, oh, I'm not sure if I can afford $99 a week. I like to start at the highest point possible. Okay, she says no again. Mary said no twice. Okay, Mary, look, I'll tell you what if I make it even easier for you again by making it just $49 a week, it's 1/3 of the price. Okay, you still get everything in that package. Okay, explain some of that if you want to, go through it again. And you'll still get to see me once a week for an accountability session. And this way we can still guarantee you lose that 20 kilos. If you haven't said to yourself never, you're not going to get the results on your own. Okay? Now, what if she says no again? Now, we used to have a Kickstart pack, which is just 4 PT sessions, just to get them in the door. And the Kickstart pack was, okay, what if I make it, look, I don't usually do this, but for you I'm going to put together what's called a Kickstart pack, where you can get 4 PT sessions for just $99. That's $25 a session. Okay? You can afford $25 a session, right? Okay, which is just your 1-hour consult, your follow-up, and then your 2 paid. So it still works out, you get $50. If you've got staff working for you, it's your 3rd and 4th session that you pay them for, okay, and you can get them on that. So you can get 3 no's before you get a yes. So you want them saying that they can't afford that, and you want to use that drop sell. Create your own drop sell process, especially if you've got staff, and then what you'll find is a lot of people will say no to this one. Give them the chance to say no, but you want people on this 2 a week because the retention's higher, the conversion rate's higher, and if people say 6 months down the track they want to stop, you can go, well, you don't want to lose your results, right? Let's drop you back to this package and do 1 session a week still. So that's your drop sell. Okay, so that's your money objection. Okay, that's your money objection. So here's some one-liners, some NLP one-liners from the model called Mind Lines. The Mind Lines model teaches us how to never lose an argument, even if you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay, it's a model that's taught in the Master Practitioner, and all going well, if the NLP Practitioner course goes well, I will be delivering and designing a Master Practitioner course, a part 2 for PTs as well down the track. The Mastermind, the Master Prac, the Mind Lines is where it gets really exciting. So here's some one-liners that are outside of the money. Let's stay on the money, okay? Now here's some generic things. Whenever somebody gives you an objection and you've gone through your drop sell process, let's say it's not money. You want to isolate the issue. So if let's say, look, I'm not sure I can do it, or whatever they say. You say, what's the one thing stopping you from getting started right now? So you're isolating one thing. You're negating any other option that they can use. Yeah? So they can't use any other excuse. They can't use anything else because they've said there's nothing else. They're going to select one thing which will be in this list, I guarantee it. Okay? And they're going to isolate that, and then what you can do is deal with that until they say yes without being pushy. It's because you're passionate and you care about their health. You know they're not going to get the results without you. Mary's just not going to do it. Okay? So we want to